Let's go.
Thank you, Diana. Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared. I am here with Taladia Plays. What is up, my brother?
Hey, thanks for having me on for really exciting topic really tonight.
And we are here with Mad Max. What's up, brother? He is muted, but we'll talk to him later. But anyway, so what do you want? So we have a pack show tonight. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the James Gunn Superman logo, Dan Lin leading Netflix, Mark Hamill coming back for Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. And then we'll do a little Q&A. That's going to be a fun thing. And then we'll do a little Q&A where you guys can ask us any questions you have. So Taladia, any preferences on what topic we discuss first?
Let's talk about Dan Lin and Netflix because I think that's a really interesting topic to discuss.
Yeah, because he's a DC guy, so it is interesting how by DC guy I mean, so for context, who Dan Lin was. For one thing, in the past, Jerry streamed tonight. Yes, thanks, Isaac. I love you, brother. But so what's kind of interesting is that Dan Lin was in the lining for James Gunn's job before it went to James Gunn.
Yes. But what's interesting is that
one thing I want to say, he was also involved in the Justice League Mortal thing.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, so that is kind of cool. And he of late, we all probably have seen his work. He was like, I believe, a producer on Lego Batman, I think, right?
I believe so.
Yes. This way. He was involved in Lego Batman.
Lego Batman.
So we had that. So what that? Go ahead, Claudia.
Which I'm doing a watch party for because I'm excited.
Hell yeah! And by the way, it's a closed panel tonight. So
what does closed panel mean though? I don't understand.
It means it's a closed panel. It's only just
on MME. You could do that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Prep.
Oh my god! I thought this was an open door policy.
You should have come in earlier. But anyway, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so he was involved in Lego Batman, and what's kind of cool about it. So what we talk about today, Brown? Today, first off, we're talking about Dan Lin leading Netflix. Now, I want to bring up an interesting point that some fans have brought up on the internet. Some people have brought up that this is bad for Zack Snyder because, after all, in a Tatiana Siegel interview, that should tell you everything you have to know about the interview, he made a comment about Snyder fans and called them basically Autobots. Remember, I'm not exactly going to speculate on that, but all I'm going to say is it's a Tatiana Siegel article, the same lady that thought that Zack Snyder was a Lex Luthor trying to manipulate Ray Fisher. Sorry, I'm not buying anything this lady says. No matter how different she is.
Hey, Max.
Hey, Max. What's up?
Was that? My apologies. Was that Perp?
Yes.
Yeah, Perp.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So you guys remember it was an article talking about Dan Lin wanting to lead to lead Netflix in place of Scott Stuber, and yes, so basically fake news, basically, because randomly she asked this question about Snyderverse fans, and I'm like, why are you ask about his plans at Netflix?
Yes, yeah, because like I feel like Dan Lin being at Netflix is that what's it called? Dan Lin being at Netflix is going to be really interesting because he's a movie guy. He's a movie guy, obviously. And he's done some really good projects before coming to Netflix, which is Lego Batman. He was planning to do Justice League Mortal.
He should be coming soon.
And there's different things. And if I was Dan Lin right now, I would, be supportive to your creators at Netflix.
Yeah.
So people like Zack Snyder, people that are working. Ben Affleck as an example.
Yep.
Who else is there? Who else is there, Jared? That we know that it's.
I don't know, but here's the other point. What comes out next month? By the way, next month.
Rebel
Claudia.
Moon.
Yes,
Rebel
Moon.
Yeah.
Rebel Moon Part 2. Exactly. So thank you, Max. So what that means is if Rebel Moon does as well as the last one, I'm not saying it's going to guarantee like the Cell thing. I'm just saying it's going to be a good way to indicate to the new boss, hey, there's still value in this particular director's IP.
And there's value in Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
use-
that's
to
what I'm
use
saying.
this-
It's like because a lot of because I've seen people say that like, oh my gosh, it's crazy that he's in there because that means even Rebel Moon's at risk. I'm like, no, it's not. Dave says, look, if you have the opportunity to bring the freaking Justice League to your platform, you would be an idiot not to. Period. I gotta say, I agree that Rebel Moon 2 or Snyder Cut. It's gonna be. I think it's Rebel Moon 2, and then the Snyder cuts are coming in the summer.
Yeah, so Rebel Moon 2 will come up first, then it's the director's cut of Rebel Moon Part 1.
And then obviously on Comics League, we will be doing some watch-alongs of those as usual. That's what we do.
Yes. And
So,
yes, as Max said, make sure you like the video. And also on Jared trying to make sure you like the stream as well.
yes, exactly. So Max, let me ask you, what do you think of Dan Lin at the good old Red N?
I don't know much about Dan Lin, honestly. I apologize. I was doing something, so I didn't get the beginning of this. Where's he come? What's his history here?
So for one thing, he was involved in Justice League Mortal.
Okay.
He was actually in the running for the head of DC Studios before James Gunn. And before that, he was one of the producers on the Lego movies, like Lego Movie 1, 2, and Batman.
Okay.
So the dude's like a massive DC guy too.
Yeah,
That's great that I don't know if it necessarily has anything to do with what's happening with Zach and everything, but it's cool that has a cool history with DC and he's moving on too. I don't know. I think Netflix is doing some good stuff over there. I'm looking forward to Rebel Moon 2. I'm not sure.
I wasn't saying to be clear. I wasn't saying it like, oh my gosh, Dan Lin's coming in. That guarantees it's going to happen. No, I'm just saying
he's worked with him before though. Yes, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm not saying they both support each other's work, so I'm not saying it's going to go crazy. Is Netflix buying Warner Brothers or complete rumor? That's a rumor. It's going to be. I think it's Universal, right? That's
Universal Comcast is a rumor as well.
Yeah,
now.
That's the one. And if that happens, I can definitely see stuff changing at DC because let's be honest, DC hasn't been managed by WB properly the past few months. The past few years. This raises the chance of Justice League 2 even more. Lin may view as a chance to finally do Justice League. That is true, though. That is true because remember, you have to factor in the Justice League Mortal thing. Hey, we could even get an animated movie for Justice League Mortal just to make that movie.
You know what? I would love to see that.
That would be really cool.
Mortal.
By the way, we should do like a live script rating of Justice League Mortal because I got Britt down. She's down to play Wonder Woman.
I can play Superman.
Hey! You're playing Batman, dude. I'm playing Superman.
All right, fine.
Max, you can play Green Lantern.
Nice. I like
right.
Green Lantern.
Hell yeah. So that's it. So I think that's enough of the Dan Lin stuff. So we can talk about the Superman logo or Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Let's talk about Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill because that's a really big thing to hear.
Yeah. So Mark Hamill is going to play. So we already knew that Conroy was going to be returning as Batman in Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. Now, what's interesting about this, first off, that happened immediately after that got revealed immediately after what's the word? After Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League happened. So as Nick pointed out on a stream we did, that is kind of suspicious. But it is really cool how now we're finding out that Mark Hamill is also going to be playing the Joker. That's actually really cool. What do you think, Taladia?
I think it's really cool to see Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill returning in Crisis. I think to reprise their roles, a lot of people are saying, you know what, at least there's a somber, ending to their partnership. We get to see them in an animated film for the last time. And I think yes, it's a really, very good way to end their, you know, thing with the best Batman and Joker of all time. Yes, of
Yep.
course, Ian. Yeah.
Best
Yes.
animated. I'll give you best animated. Best
Best
Batman. Best live action Batman is Affleck. We all know that.
But I mean, animation, yes.
Yeah.
Animation, best
Absolutely.
animated voice actor, best animation.
Well, here's the
Best
other thing.
video game voice
Will
actor.
Freddy is coming back for Beyond in Crisis 3.
No, and 2, part 2
And
as
2,
well.
and 2. So it's gonna be Batman Beyond, baby.
So it's
I
like
wonder if this was
Go ahead.
planned or Hamill requested it, the role after Conroy passed. I would imagine it was already done beforehand, because if Batman and Joker interact, they would have to, unless they re-record the dialogue, which I can't imagine they're gonna do.
What really interests me about this though, it's like how they're gonna really go into that universe though, because is it gonna be post-crisis,
I
or is
don't
it
think
gonna
they
be
are. I think what they're probably going to do is just pull those versions out of the universe, because you notice how in Crisis 1 they were pulling all the different versions of these characters, and we got Superman Wonder
Yeah.
Woman kiss. I like to rub that in whenever I can.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you for leaking that to me, Talati. I really appreciate Britt and I really appreciate that. We were going nuts, like bam, bam.
Yeah, of course. But it's like what I'm really interested is the animation style. Are they going to use the Batman the Animated Series art style?
I think they're
gonna
using the Tomorrowverse
Tomorrowverse.
really
Yeah.
glitchy ass and stiff animation style, which I'm like, that's my one complaint, because I like the stories of all the movies that have come out with the Tomorrowverse.
Yeah.
Some
same.
more than others. The actual story of Warworld is good. In other words, cut out the first 2 shorts. The part that actually matters is good.
Yeah.
But
And
I agree with Nick. The one problem I have with this, the animation is really stiff whenever they're walking. And according to Sam Liu, it's just because they don't get that big of a budget.
yeah, by the way, guys, if you haven't checked out Jared's channel, what are you doing? Make sure you go check out his channel, because he did an interview with Sam Liu talking about the Tomorrowverse, talking about other films that he was a part of.
And Sam Liu is a big producer and director for any of the DC animated stuff. So for anyone who doesn't know who Sam Liu is,
And we got a guest.
Yeah.
In Max's.
Oh,
thought-
she wanted.
Hmm?
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought Mark said he was done voicing the Joker because of the passing of Kevin Conroy, but this is cool. That's why I think this was like planned before Conroy's passing, because I mean, obviously the Crisis stuff happened before Conroy's passing. So what I'm thinking is that they already recorded that. They just didn't want to announce it yet.
Yeah. Like, what do you think about this, Max, with Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy and Mark Hamill returning as
Oh,
in Crisis?
that's great. The project looks cool too. I just haven't seen part 1. Did anyone see part 1?
I
Yeah.
did. It was really good. Really
It
good.
was
Okay.
really good.
I'm behind on the DC animated stuff.
You got to get caught up, bro. You got to get
Yeah,
caught up.
I don't know if it's on Max or where it's playing.
It's on. I believe it's on streaming platforms. I'm pretty sure.
It should be. It's definitely on Max. I know that
Yeah.
for sure because I was looking at it. Dave says budgets were probably slashed even further under Zaslav. Well, ain't that the truth? Hey, what's up, Tevia? And Brown Destroyer says, why did not going to go the easy route and make the Timverse into live action? Because
We'll be talking about.
well, here's
that.
why. Because we don't want a universe where Batman slept with Batgirl. That's why.
Wait, what?
That happened in the Bruce Timm-verse with like Batman the Animated Series and Justice
Well, I
League.
guess they're
We
not
find that out in the
related.
prequel comics. That's why Nightwing does not show up in Batman Beyond.
Okay.
And I'm
Well,
like,
they're not related. There's,
but he's so.
It's kind of weird,
it's
Max.
a man and a
creepy.
girl.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but Max,
She's
it's kind of
legal
weird.
age, right?
It's
No,
just
but it's-
creepy.
It's weird. It's weird because it's just weird.
Do
Tevia's
you
asking.
think this will be a great send-off for Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill? Yeah, it will be
Yes.
good. It'll also allow the community to heal from the perceived disrespect that Conroy got for Suicide Squad.
Squad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's his adopted son's girlfriend. Yeah, that's the thing. He wouldn't do that. That version of Batman wouldn't do that. So I'm like, but it's nice to see that we'll get that pair together one more time, because last time we had them voicing roles together was Arkham Knight, I think.
Yeah, yes, Arkham Knight was the last time these two portrayed Joker and Batman retrospectively. Yes,
Which it'll be fun to be able to see that one more time.
one
So
final time.
on to Superman. All right, so we finally have the Superman logo, and I'm going to pull that up so we can talk about it. I have mixed feelings on it. Mixed in that, I mean, I get what he's going for. I'm plugging up James Gunn's Twitter real quick. The problem I have with it is that when you use that particular Superman logo, I mean, logo. I'm just trying to find it on here, and the problem I have with it is that when you use Kingdom Come for a younger Superman, it doesn't necessarily work. But I get what he's going for. By the way, here is the logo. It's Kingdom Come. It's kind of a mixture of Kingdom Come and My Adventures with Superman, I think.
Actually,
well,
go on. You go first, Max.
I don't know if it's gonna be. Yeah, I covered the Kingdom Come too. I don't really know much about that storyline, that comic, but maybe it's just inspired by, and it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, because Gunn did say it's inspired by the Alex Ross drawn Superman, which I'm like, oh, okay, I can respect that.
Yeah, I can respect that he's gone with a really good artist, which was Alex Ross. But what
Ashton says, I have a feeling Gunn is going to do a reverse Kingdom Come. So the thing of Kingdom Come, Max, the basic story of that is the Joker kills Lois Lane, much to all of our applause. And then, I hate Lois Lane. And then someone kills the Joker. I think, my God, what's up, Kevin? So, and then the public basically says, oh no, Magog is right. Killing the supervillains is the way to go. And Superman just says, screw all y'all, I'm out. And then he leaves and goes to the fortress for a couple of years. The more violent, less self-control superheroes take over and start like causing all this destruction. Wonder Woman shows up and goes, hey, listen, dude, Clark, we need you to come back because everything's going to hell. And he comes back, and he's using that Superman logo, except instead of like the yellow, it's black.
It'd be black. It's black, yeah.
Which
but I think but what I think James Gunn is doing, he's doing it from 3 different iterations of Superman.
Yeah.
Which is the 1940s Fletcher's cartoon. He's using Kingdom Come and the normal Superman logo. Think about it.
The other thing that I'm thinking of is that here's my little theory. What if he's doing this and the final event that he builds up to at the end of the 10-year plan is Kingdom Come, and that's when he brings in Cavill to play Superman as the older Superman with the black outline logo from Kingdom Come?
I don't
it's
think
too much of a good idea, right?
It's too much of a good idea for James to do that. I think he'll stick to what he has. But we did, like, the one thing I'll say though, because I think there is more stuff with Superman that we know about today, which actually dropped.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to approach some of the comments. DC hasn't been handled well by DC for a very long time. Yes, exactly. Yes. I'm calling it now. The plot of the movie will basically be Superman versus the elite, with Superman fighting the authorities' methods and inspiring other heroes to his ideals. Similar theme to Kingdom Come. Yeah. CW Crisis on Infinite Earths logo looked better, which was actually Kingdom Come. Speaking of Magog, he's returned recently in World's Finest. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he did, yeah.
Jared, I'm more concerned about the trunk portion. I've heard conflicting reports, so I don't know. Still, if any new DCU will turn out to be good, I may give it a chance, especially for Supergirl. Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. I want it to be good. If it turns out to be good, I will be the first person to do a stream and say, you know what? This is actually really good. I was wrong about James Gunn.
I'll be the second one to do it.
Yeah, I'm giving him 100% the chance to wow me because let me put it this way. I know he can make a good. Let me put it this way. Guardians of the Galaxy proves to me that he can make he can make a respectful superhero movie. It's
Like,
just
what do you think, Max?
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Oh, I think he's gonna do good. I would like I would like the alternative, but sure. I'm really looking forward to this.
Mhm.
I was actually expecting the suit to be a little bit brighter. It's actually pretty reminiscent of the Man of Steel suit to me.
Even
Besides
the
the logo,
texture.
is a little different. I'm saying like the blue.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, what you have to think about, because I saw people like going, "Oh my gosh, it's a bright blue suit," and I'm like, here's the problem with that thinking. In post, in like when they're editing the movie, how do you know that they're not going to desaturate a little bit? Because that's what they did with Man of Steel. That's why the suit looks kind of muted, because they did go in there and desaturate it a little bit. Yeah, the Trunks is stupid. Yeah, 100%. Plus, I don't like the idea of Kingdom Come's future because it seems like the end of the DC universe. Well, not necessarily, Tavia. They could take elements from it, like the older Jaded Superman. It would be awesome if the Lois Lane and Clark's relationship got so much backlash in the movie he's forced to do Super Wonder. That would be great. And
look at Max.
I'm not on board with this.
Super Wonder.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
On. It sells better than Lois ever would. So there you go.
I mean, in the comics, there's a Superman and Wonder Woman comic. I don't know if you knew that, Max. And it outsold everything after New 52.
Yeah, I've covered it extensively on my channel. That once they abandoned that's when DC started going lower. Doesn't the color on the edge look? Yeah, here's the thing. It looks like the Man of Steel logo a little bit. The funny thing is that, and some people have been bringing this up, it looks like basketball texture.
What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely does. I see.
And I'm like, that's odd. I mean, I get what he's going for. I like the textured logo as opposed to just the flat on a cloth suit because it looks cool. The part that I liked about Zach's suit is that there was like Kryptonian writing on it, so it felt like a Kryptonian battle suit.
But the Man of Steel suit didn't have that Kryptonian hair.
It didn't have it, but it still had like a certain texture. It still felt like an alien suit. You know what I'm saying?
But for this, I think what Anthony says is kind of like a Man of Steel, but not really if you look at the side by side.
It's Man of Steel in terms of the texture and like the brightness of the colors. That's really it.
I do wonder though, what the full suit will look like in terms of a full image, because obviously what I'm doing is I'm going to wait until the full suit is revealed and the trailer drops. Then I'll give my honest thoughts.
Yeah, because once they give me a trailer, I'll give you an indicator of if I'm excited for the movie or not. Because if the trailer's awesome, I'm gonna be pumped for it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't do a full corn sweat in the suit for Superman Day. Maybe he's not gonna wait till the first trailer for that.
I don't think. I think what he'll do is he'll do like what they did with Matt Reeves' The Batman, where it's just a slow like pan around the suit, and then you see corn sweat in there.
No, I think he's gonna wait until Superman's anniversary, which is in less than in 2 months' time.
That would be a good time to do it. Now, the other interesting thing, there are two things. I'm gonna talk about the title change, and then I'll get to the new casting. So the title change is just called Superman. Which I think that's kind of interesting because he dropped the thing.
I called that, by the way. People are like, really? I'm like, do you think he's gonna keep Legacy? I think he's gonna kind of change it. That's the one thing I'm not like 100% on board for, and I'm not negative towards it. It just seems like, okay, he's a very talented person, but it kind of seems like he's doing all this. I'm being pulled. This is a divine project. Like everything's coming together. Like I accidentally, I didn't even realize it was Superman's birth. Yeah, I wasn't even, it came. it came to me a vision that this must just be Superman now after I completed it. I started out as his legacy, and now it's just Superman. And I made the announcement, and we started on Superman's Day, and I didn't even realize. And then it's also being released on my father's birthday, and I didn't even realize that. Which it's very cool that that's that. But when people do this type of thing, that like, oh, I didn't even realize. I kind of like I second guess it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, real.
And that's
yeah,
no shade. That's no
exactly.
shade towards James. I'm just like, I think you're feeding me a line.
Well, also
I-
remember,
Yeah.
you had Zaslav saying James Gunn's on a mission from God. I'm like, okay, David, you might want to cool
Like
it
now-
on the imagery there.
It's just called Super. The legacy was kind of growing on me. The legacy. Now it's just Superman.
Yeah, I mean, Superman Legacy would have been a better title, to be honest with you, than just Superman.
Because it also seems like he's trying to ride on the coattails of the Christopher Reeve movie.
Well, now I'm gonna second guess. Is this gonna be too much of a homage like Christopher Lee? Because I don't want that. I want something different.
Honestly, Max, here's the thing. What this is looking to me like, from everything he said, it could very well be a repeat of Superman Returns, which, to be clear, Superman Returns was a good movie. I enjoy it personally. It didn't perform well at the box office, though.
Well, there wasn't enough. I don't think
Yeah.
the one thing is, even if it is an homage, I think James Gunn's going to bring the action and a lot of things going on. Superman Returns was just too barren. There wasn't much going on in the movie. They
Plus,
had a great setup.
Mhm.
They had a great what?
He was kind of a stalker, though, stalking Lois Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that movie did.
Dave says, regardless, a new Superman reboot, no matter how good or bad, isn't going to set the box office on fire. Mark my words, Zazzle is going to cancel most of the films when these overperform. Here's the other thing that we have to realize. They're really marketing toward, they have to market toward the general audience. And here's the thing. The general audience probably doesn't even know who James Gunn is. Or
I disagree with that. They know,
Okay.
they know
Yeah.
James Gunn.
They know, like they know James Gunn is. It's like they don't know, like the story that he's gonna tell. Whichever inspiration he's going for.
Well,
What
they
I'm
also
guess-
don't know the whole concept of a reboot and like and a
Yeah.
multiverse and all that stuff. That's why I'm like, okay, Britt says Gunn didn't take on Superman in the first place, so this divine talk is very much PR. Yeah, he didn't want to take on Superman in the first place, and he's like, then the heavens opened up and a light,
And it was made to be so.
yes, exactly.
I had to do it. I just had to do it. Everything.
And
was
the
aligned.
Lord said, "Let there be a James Gunn Superman movie."
Yeah.
And there was one, and God saw that.
And you know what? Gun fans are probably say that too, though.
Yeah, they probably would.
No, honestly, I think he's going to do an amazing job, though.
Yeah.
Even though I criticize him, I think he's going to do an amazing job. He's just like the way he feeds everyone a line. I think he's a little bit of a bullshitter on the internet. He's like, oh, it was just meant to be, and now it's Superman. I'm like, okay.
Jade says WB will sell before Zazzle cancels it. Yeah, that's what in the order of events, I think the sale if they're gonna cancel anything, let's say in the unlikely event that happens, the sale is gonna happen first.
Yes.
The sales because if he cancels stuff before the sale, it hurts the way the potential buyers look at the IP. You don't want to do that if you're going to get it. If you want to get as much cash as possible from a sale, you're not going to spend time undermining it. Then again, this is the dude who pulled the Acme movie. Zaslav's a cheap bastard. He's going to pull the plug on this universe instead of letting his film build an audience because he wants big results. Now, I wonder what that sounds like. As much as I like Christopher Reeve's Superman, the problem is that character is very outdated. That version, to a degree, yes. Okay, the only thing I am worried about is he's going to put some funny stuff in the movie because Superman is a character that you don't want to make him look silly and jokey. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, and the merger with Universal. Yeah, but Zaslav also canceled a lot of other stuff. I know that's heavier, but not this close to the sale. What, Max?
I know people are concerned about the James Gunn jokey. I think he's going to have other characters to handle that, like Jimmy Olsen and Guy Gardner to handle the joke stuff. I'd be shocked if he actually has Superman and Clark. Besides Clark being, I mean, there are funny things you could do with Clark being a dope with the glasses on as a reporter
Oh,
at Daily
God.
Planet and simping over Lois. I'm sure that's going to be a thing.
I do not want to see Superman simping over the most unlikable character in all of DC.
Oh,
I
my
still
God.
say the best relationship that DC has
I
never
love a strong
explored.
woman, Jared. Woo.
Max, I came up with a genius.
Lois
Max,
gets me going there.
Max, I came up with a fantastic idea, fantastic pairing.
Tells
Taladia knows
Superman what
this.
to do too.
So my
Yeah.
idea was, here's an untapped story. Make Lois Lane get into a relationship with General Zod. Their characters are just like each other. They're both evil people.
Oh no.
There you go. Yeah. Hopefully Guy Gardner will be the comic relief. I just don't want, I'm sorry, I just don't want a penis
Jade.
joke in a Superman
Yes,
movie. I just
Peacemaker's
don't.
an MK1. Yes, Jade.
Can we stop with I really miss the days when Peacemaker was not over. Peacemaker has become the Batman who laughs now. Question: do you believe this Superman movie will beat the Fantastic Four movie? If the Fantastic Four movie is bad, yes. If it's good, it could do as well. That's what I'm saying.
I think they're both going to do great. I honestly, I know a lot of people are concerned about superhero fatigue.
Mm-hmm. But it's not real though.
No, it's real. It's real. My wife, my friends, my wife will not go see a movie anymore. But I'll tell you what, when we were in Dune 2 the other day, she was laughing her butt off at Deadpool 3. So it just has to be a good superhero movie.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a superhero fatigue. It's just bad movie fatigue.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
I feel like they're both going to do great. It's going to be a great month at the movies. I'm going to go see both multiple times.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be like a Barbenheimer thing with Superman
imagine?
Legacy and Fantastic Four or Superman 4.
Fantastic Superman.
Fantastic Man. It's one of those,
Man.
Jared, one thing is sure, we will see Lois Lane being annoying in the entire movie. It's going to be all about her. I miss DC.
I'm not on board for all this Lois shade, everybody.
That's just Comics League. We call her Lois Lame.
Lame.
And Gunn is definitely introducing characters that will build a version of Justice International, the comedic Justice League. Here's the thing. He's going to learn that not a lot of people will show up for that Justice League. I got news for you. There's a reason why because here's the story of why the JLI is no longer a book. So they showed up. The book was seen as a joke. And I don't mean that in terms of it was a jokey book. I mean, no one took it seriously. The Justice League got their ass kicked by Doomsday in the death of Superman. And then what actually happened was Grant Morrison popped on the Justice League book and goes, why aren't the actual characters that sell books on the Justice League, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter? That's how you got that standard Justice League lineup. Because the JLI book actually stopped selling after a while. So that's just what we're going to go with that. Can we stop having Superman simp for Lois Lane, please? Yes. People definitely have a fatigue.
I would say people do have a fatigue. Yes. And I think as
what's
well,
up, David?
I think what this movie needs to do, it needs to wow people.
Mm-hmm.
It
needs to be perfect. Particularly, here's the thing. After the difficult 2023 DC had, let me put it this way: Creature Commandos and this have to impress, have to take off out of the gate.
Yeah,
it very well. You know what? And I say this as a DC fan and a DC movie fan. I hope this does great, because here's the thing: no matter where you align on the Snyderverse debate, DC succeeding in the movie theaters is good for both sides. That's what people have to realize. Because if there's any chance, if there's any possibility of a continuation in any way, animation, comics, or stuff, it's made more likely if the DC brand is stronger.
Yeah, and the Superman IP too.
Oh yeah, particularly Superman. Exactly. So that's why when I see some in the Snyderverse community saying that they hope this movie bombs, and I'm like, that's very short-sighted thinking. It's not gonna lead to the results that you want. If anything, it's gonna lead to them not doing DC movies for a while.
Yeah, I mean, WB's already had success this last year now, doing more stuff that's not DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Oppenheimer and Barbie, they've all done really good, and they're not DC.
Yeah, exactly. So if their other movies are performing well and DC keeps bombing, particularly if it's bombing out of the gate for their new universe, they're just going to go, okay, you know what? We'll just make one-off movies. We're done. So going back to the other topic for Superman Legacy that Talati wanted to talk about, we have a Perry White that just got cast. And you know what? I like this casting because I saw him in Jack Ryan.
Oh, I like this actor. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he could do.
he could do
You
a
gotta
great
change the
job.
banner. Change the banner.
Oh yeah. He could do a fantastic job as Perry White because he in the part he had in Jack Ryan, he did a fantastic. He basically was Perry White.
Okay, so like I've seen him in Jack Ryan, but that's the only.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He kind of played that. Why do another race swap again? They did it. See, here's the thing: if he plays a good version of the character, I could care less. So it doesn't really make a difference to me. If he's the best actor, let me put it this way, this is one of the occasions where I'm like, yeah, this actually works because I've seen him play like. Because here's the thing about Perry White: he's a very curmudgeon-y guy. This dude, Wendell Pierce, he can play a curmudgeon.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they need to have patience. It's going to be a while until General Lines trust superhero films again. Exactly.
Oh yeah, he was from The Wire as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing too.
What were you going to say, Max?
This is where I know race swaps get people, talking, but this is one of the things where I see overwhelmingly people accept the Zack Snyder version with Lawrence Fishburne. Just did such a great job. That I think it's just kind of like standard now that they may go with a black man for Perry White consistently based on that was just a great version of Perry White.
Yeah, he nailed it. Again, say what you want about Zack's movies. He cast those, his castings are pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, for that they still don't like this Lex, but I like that Lex.
Me too. I understood what he was going for with like the more Mark Zuckerberg version of Lex, which is kind of ironic because he cast the guy from The Social Network. So the so far best casting in the Gunverse has been Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, I think he could do a good Jimmy Olsen too. I think so. But all in all, actually, yeah, it's not about. It's actually a pretty solid casting. So I'm like, okay, I can go with this. I can accept this one.
Yeah,
So,
I can accept it too. It's like what I'm really interested in seeing is how he's gonna implement his version of Perry. Is it gonna be a serious Perry? Is it gonna be Perry, someone that is a father figure? Is it gonna be someone that a Perry White that we've never seen before? Is it going to be something like maybe like this what we've seen before, like in Superman Returns or Superman?
Now, Taladia, I think they could go for more of a father figure. And the other thing that they could do, and I'm wondering, is how heavily they're going to go into the journalism angle. Because here's what I'm thinking they could do. Remember in the New 52, and this because we covered this in Snyder Fans Read Comics, when he left the Daily Planet and formed like his own internet news site with Cat Grant.
Yeah.
I wonder if they could do that as well, because when you think about it, newspapers aren't exactly relevant. So it's like internet news is for the most part relevant. And Randy, those are the ones where you could kind of like you could argue with that one. So I'm like, okay, that works. Question: what villain would they do for Superman Legacy? They could either do what they could do if the Authority is supposed to follow Superman. They could have the Engineer be the villain. Superman fights her, and then the Authority comes for revenge.
I think it'll be Lex and the Engineer.
Yeah, that too.
Because Lex. Here's my theory. Right, it's a theory, guys. So I believe that Lex will instigate the Engineer saying, "Oh, Superman's a bad person. He doesn't do this.
He's a threat, like he normally does.
Like he normally does in the comics, right?" And
wait, I just got an idea.
Go on.
Lex forms the Authority to fight Superman. It's a Lex Corp team.
That's not bad. You know, that's not bad thinking,
Because
Jerry.
remember,
Well-
the Justice League is established in this universe, so he forms his own Justice League to fight to fight the
The
to
fight
counter
Superman.
the Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this Lex is going to be a lot more charismatic than their other versions, and the general public within this world really roots for this Lex a lot. I'm thinking with Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, because that's another solid casting. I'll give you that, because Holt can play after I saw him in like Dark Phoenix. Say what you want about that movie. It's actually really good. And
wait, it's actually really good?
No, that depict, because there's a part where Hulk goes really dark in that movie, and I'm like, and kind of angry.
I enjoyed the movie.
Me too. Me too. But I got a little inside information on that. So the entire third half of the movie was reshot because they were originally going to have Jean become like binary form. But what happened is that Captain Marvel was coming out and she goes binary in that movie. So they didn't want to have conflicting information.
And they were going to do 2 parts, and they didn't because of the merger.
Yeah. Tevia. Okay, Tevia, I'm going to say this for future reference. Whenever I reference something in the comics, I don't mean they do it exactly in the comics. I know it came out of I know it went nowhere, but I'm saying they could do it now well. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Plus, we're in the 21st century.
Yeah, and Anthony brings up a good point. Newspapers weren't even relevant when Superman Returns came out. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be Lex pulling the strings of the Authority. They don't want to reveal them yet, but the Authority is definitely going to be in the film. It could. That would be an interesting way to do it. Instead of the Authority, it should have been the Legion of Doom. Here's the thing. I don't think it should have been the Legion. That requires more more setup. At least the Authority themselves have fought Superman, just Superman in the past. That's it. Bryan Cranston would have been a great Lex. He could also play a good Brainiac.
Yeah, you know what? I've been saying this. Bryan Cranston for Lex for Brainiac. I did say that to you, didn't I? Say that to you.
Yes, the first time we did these fan castings, I'm telling you, Taladia, if you call this, you can come on Comics League and go, I was right. You were so good.
Right.
Hey, what's up, yeah, exactly. It was upside. Nice. The Skrulls were supposed to be in Dark Phoenix 2 instead of the generic aliens. Those aliens were from the comics, but they're basically behaving like Skrulls because the Authority only gets formed because so much got destroyed. But Tevia, this can do it differently from the comics. They don't need to do all that stuff.
It's completely different. It's going to take inspirations from the comics. That's what James Gunn is going to be doing for his Superman film.
It's taking inspiration.
It's not going to be like a one-to-one adaptation from the comics.
Plus, remember, if he was going to do the Stormwatch stuff, he would have referenced the Stormwatch books. I will give James Gunn 100% credit. As much as I disagree with a lot of the choices he's made, him citing specific books that he's doing for the movies, that is 100% a great move because you had then helped because like that Supergirl book, no one talked about it anymore until he announced it as like a movie. Then all of a sudden that book is selling out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's selling out.
The Authority was out of print, and then all of a sudden it's in print. So I'm like, and by the way, I was calling. When before James Gunn got named, I have historically said what DC should do if they want the comic book arm to survive. They should have whoever's in charge of the movies to say, here is the movies that are coming out. Here are the comics that these movies are based on. There you go. He did that.
How do you feel? But how do you feel, Max, about the fact that when James Gunn brings these books, comics, and adapts them, one comic that's going to be adapted, and the other one just take a few bits and bobs from the comics and interpret it into his film? How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it. It gets people reading comics. It gets people interested in comics. He obviously knows comics. He just is just like all nerds and comic fans. James Gunn's a nerd too. He likes his certain material better than other stuff. So he's like, so whatever. It's getting the people interested in the comics. I'm sure it's gonna have Easter eggs for people, I hope it brings more people to it. You're never going to please everyone, but hopefully it brings more people together. It's refreshing that we're getting a new film that's going to be starting filming now instead of just a movie that's been micromanaged to death and been on the in product done principal
Production.
photography but just messed with for years and feel old. Like all those movies, regardless if you want to see it, they all felt so old because they've just been sitting there being tinkered on with Aquaman and Blue Beetle, and they were just all they all seem stale to me.
Well, Flash was announced when Flash season 1 started.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But by the way, Brown says, Jared, was that Supergirl comics good? I heard different things when it first came out. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
It's a really good comic.
Tom King does not Tom King in that book. So I'm like, okay, there you go. At least you can write a good book. I appreciate that. The films just cherry picking these from popular comics instead of just doing one-to-one adaptation of these stories is something I vastly dislike about Western media. But here's the thing, Atchison, they can't go 100% like screen to page with it. They can go close to it, like what Zach did with like BVS when it was Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman, even though I don't think it was a good idea to combine both those stories. Yeah. I think, or like Taladia, hey, we covered the first volume of Jeff Johns' Justice League. That was pretty much Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, like. But I think if you're gonna do a one-to-one adaptation, it'll only be in animation format.
Yeah.
Because that works well. That's why they're doing the Crisis film.
Yeah.
One-to-one.
I mean, it's not one-to-one because Supergirl is not Harbinger in that, but a perfect example. Dark Knight Returns animated movie. That is 1-to-1 for the most part.
Batman
Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, and Batman Year One, which was also
Batman Year One. That is correct. Zach was way more DCGs than James Gunn ever will be. Well, yeah, but let me put it this way. I think that I would have more faith in Zack Snyder doing it, obviously, but still, I myself don't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex. Fair enough. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. Do you think it will actually release in 2025 or be delayed? Here's why I think it's likely it's going to be released in 2025. If they want to get this universe started with as much faith, if the movie comes out, they can't afford to delay it. I think they're going to push it through.
Yeah, it has to. Like, this movie has to succeed. Like, you can't. Go on.
Oh, I don't mean to interrupt. I was going to say, I haven't known James Gunn seems to keep, regardless of whether you like his movies or not, he seems to keep a pretty tight filming, post-production schedule. I don't think Guardians was ever delayed, was it? Guardians 3?
In fact, from what I've heard, he's normally gone under budget and under time. So if anything, it'll be done early. So they may move it forward.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, also Constantine is in the Harbinger. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's so again, with all the emphasis that they're putting on this movie specifically, it would be completely stupid of them. But to be clear, this is Warner Brothers we're talking about here, and they're known for making really stupid decisions. And where's the clip? Where's the clip? Taladia, do you really not have the... here we go.
Yeah, it's like at Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I have to. A question. What's going to happen to My Adventure with Superman when... Let me put it this way, Taladia. If they're canceling Superman and Lois for the reason that they don't want multiple Supermen, I think they're going to pull that.
Wait, you just called Tevia Taladia?
No, I said Tevia. It said... because remember, the reason why they canceled Superman, My Adventure with Superman and Lois, jeez, I'm tired. It's because apparently it's because they didn't want to do another. They didn't want to have multiple Superman, which I guess that makes sense. David says, I bet David Zaslav will keep the budget fairly low and people will complain about bad CGI like in The Flash. I don't think so because James Gunn it can make good cheap CGI look good. I'll give that to him too. Jared, have you seen Superman XE? To be successful, it has to make $800 million. Okay, with that budget document, the one thing that I'm waiting for, I need to get information on this. So it came out that like the budget on the like tax break form that they submit to the city says the budget is like $365 million. Now, the question is, does that include the marketing or not? Because if it doesn't include the marketing, that movie's in trouble. If it does, then it's in a good spot. I think it includes the marketing.
I like rumors, but this is nowhere near confirmed, though. Right? The everyone's been running with this. I would be shocked if they spent that much on Superman Legacy. I think it's possible, but I don't. 365.
I saw the documents, but again, again, it does that include the marketing? Because if that includes the marketing, then I think it's fine. I'm because I highly doubt the Superman movie is going to do as bad as the Flash did, for instance. I don't think it's going to lose money if it doesn't include. If it basically does not include the marketing, I still think it could. It's more of a struggle, but I think it could actually like be a success. And I don't think it'll make $1 billion, but I think it could be a success. Let me put it to you that way. That's every director's response to Warner Brothers when they don't want to work for them anymore. Yeah, well, it's also here's the problem with Warner Brothers, particularly Zaslav. Remember when he was buying Warner Brothers, he marketed himself as like, we're going to repair relations with creatives. I'm going to proceed to cancel all the movies when they're almost done.
Like Batgirl and
David said, I don't see it making $1 billion. It would be cool if it did, though. Yeah, it would be cool if it did. But the problem is here's the problem. Here's what people have to understand about the Superman IP. It's not as popular as the Batman IP. If this were a Batman movie, I'd say, yeah, it could make $1 billion because Batman is like near universal, like it's like way more mainstream than Superman is. Because unfortunately, here's the thing. Most people think Superman is a dweeb. I'm just going to tell you that right there. With Batman, and there's a reason why Batman books hold up the entire comic book network industry in terms of sales. That's why. If the budget is Zaslav is complete more on a Superman movie will not make more than $700 million at most. A theatrical film has to make at least twice its budget to profit. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see about that. But I was going to say, here's what I believe. If it makes 600 million or 700 million at the box office, that's a win for WB.
Yeah, it'll be a success because, again, if the budget is essentially like, let's say 365, and let's say that's including marketing.
Yeah.
So if it makes that, fine. If it doesn't include marketing, let's say it would have to make like almost $700 million. It could. Let me put that way. It could because I believe most of the Guardians movies made that much money. So it's possible. The thing is, will a Superman movie make that much? I don't know. The reason why Batman versus Superman did well is because Batman's name is first in the marquee.
Yeah. Batman was a popular IP back then. You guys got to remember. Batman has been a popular name since Christopher Nolan did his Batman Begins.
Since 1989 is when Batman really took the role as the king of DC, really.
Yeah, realistically, yeah, I would agree with you there.
I'm still shocked by this budget thing. I'm going to trust you, Jared, that you said you saw some of the documents.
I'll
but
send you the information on Twitter.
The reason I'm shocked is this the answer? If Warner Brothers and Zaslav really did give the go-ahead for a budget this size, after all, regardless of what you think of Zack Snyder's movies and then the reshoots for Justice League and just another really expensive movie, I think is, in the matter who's directing it, is like a horrible idea. I mean, of course, I'd be rooting if it was Zack got back and they gave him $350 million to finish with Darkseid and all that. But because they went a different route, I'm shocked that they would give the okay for a budget that big.
Here you go, Max. I DM'd you the information.
I can't look. My computer upstairs.
He can't have access to his computer.
The point is for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say Justice League was a mess. Yeah, it was. It was definitely a mess. Question: why is Joker movie $200 million? Because that makes no sense to me. You mean the budget? that is an interesting question. But I mean, they probably see that one as more of a guarantee because the last one made $1 billion. Even Man
Yeah,
of Steel made less than $700 million and not released during the height of the superhero. Well, here's the thing: the budget of that, including marketing, I looked this up, is like $250 million. So it 100% made a profit.
yeah, and I think what James Gunn needs to do though now is obviously film,
Mhm.
release the image for the full suit. Obviously, it's Superman anniversary. Then at San Diego Comic-Con, you do your very first teaser, your very
Mhm.
first snippet of teaser to warm the fans up, and you also reveal more stuff for the DCU slate, right? Because
Mhm.
that's what he needs to do now. Because if you want to get fans on board, um, you have to do that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you can see David Zaslav saying, "Why aren't you revealing more stuff?" Like
Because here's the thing, Talati, to that point, I agree with you. Because if this movie is as important as they're telling us it is, and it is,
yeah,
you should be revealing stuff. You got to tell, because obviously Max, to your point earlier, obviously they have the suit all done. They have the suit. Just reveal the damn thing, so we can at least get more hype instead of just the S, or at least
yeah.
tell us if there's gonna be trunks or anything like that.
Yeah.
People are comparing it to My Adventure with Superman already.
Because the S is very similar to that one.
Mhm.
Hmm
He
Release it.
he might be teasing too much. I don't know. Like
Mhm.
we do want to see stuff, but he's doing good on social. He does his well, just like Zach is in tune with his fans. He's really the gun nuts, like my friend likes to call himself. Like he's a self titled gun nut. Um,
Derek asked,
he's doing everything that his fans want. So his fans are really hyped for the way he's teasing.
Britt says it might be expensive because Gunn is trying to set up an entire universe as in it's all established already. That could be too, because remember, a Green Lantern's in this movie. So, Derek says, well, do you think we'll see Lois Lane's feet in the movie? Ugh!
Ooh,
But
I hope so.
okay, we will not. Never got a Man of Steel 2 because the WB
Reporter
wanted
feet
to
are
rush the
very
universe.
nice.
Okay, the budget could be high because they may plan on reusing some of the sets in later movies. That could be too.
But Anthony is asking, like, releasing a teaser a year before the movie comes out. Here's the thing, Anthony, right? They need to get a teaser out by San Diego Comic Con is the best option, or Brazil CCXP, right? Which
Yeah,
is a
because here's the
very good.
thing: if this movie is as important as it is, because it's establishing your universe, it's setting the tone, you need to at least get some hype. Because here's what happens typically whenever he reveals something or anything like that. It trends decently. Like I think that this one had like 200,000 or something like that, and then it goes away. It trends and goes away. It's not like it stays for like a really long time. So he
Don't be
needs.
doing that on camera.
Yeah. Okay. So he needs something to.
Just get out of it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
He needs something to keep people interested, to keep people talking. So it's basically going to be a soft reboot that builds on old DCU by recasting characters and retcons events. That's kind of what he said it was going to be. He said some events are staying, some aren't. So that's why I think he could be using the early Superman movies to like retcon a lot of Cavill stuff and then bring back Cavill later. Hey, what's up, Retro?
Hey, Retro Nerd Girl.
Long time no see.
Hey, retro nerd girl.
Question: if Warner Brothers does sell to Comcast, does this mean the video game division will be dead and not connecting to video games and movies? Well, with that, he said no, we're not doing that. Oh, by the way, so Kevin says that $360 million budget came from a public Ohio motion picture tax application. WB applied for a tax credit for a percentage of that cost. So it is true, in other words. And Taladia, you're the game
Yeah.
guy. Do you want to answer Tevia's question?
Well, to answer your question, Tevia, right? Here's the thing: in the gaming industry right now, it's kind of a dud. Right now, they're really struggling with basically getting one game to get $1 billion to make it a successful franchise, which is Suicide Squad. And the fact is like James Gunn obviously wants to make the games connected to the gaming industry. Sorry, the games connected to the movies. So if I was in James Gunn's shoes, I would push as many big IPs as I can out there.
Mhm.
And if you're not going to do that, you might as well just do what you've previously been doing, which is more Batman games. But
Mhm.
they're not, but the thing is, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers right now are struggling financially, and that's the thing. Warner Brothers
Mhm.
have been struggling with getting things out there and to basically get people excited for things like Suicide Squad didn't make enough back to get people interested. It's a buggy mess.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like Warner Brothers Gaming was as much of a mess as the film
Oh, yeah.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that
Regardless
says
of
a
whether you
lot.
like, regardless of whether even even NetherRealm, but I blame Warner Brothers for this Mortal Kombat 1. I've
Yeah.
been saying it seems like it was put together at the last moment. The whole system they had in place seems like it might have been for an Injustice 3. They were planning something else before they switched it back to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
I'm sure of
definitely.
it because
I want
that
that
Rock.
Injustice 3.
Well, the Rock they at the first fandom, Rock and Ed Boon were going to make an announcement together, and they canceled it. And then but the Mortal Kombat 1's been having, even though it's selling well, though, at least that's the difference between Mortal Kombat 1 and no offense
Mhm.
Claudia Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's selling
It's
more, so
true.
it's not like offense.
But there's some stuff they've been doing recently. They've get really bad press on that game.
Oh yeah. Taladia
yeah.
was telling me earlier.
The skins for this year. Oh,
Could Marvel be the new king of games?
Oh, that's easy. That's an easy answer. Yes.
Yeah, if they keep making games of Spider-Man's quality, probably.
like with Wolverine and who Blade, but that's Blade
Wolverine,
is made by someone else though. It's not.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
No, it's made by Bethesda.
But it's still a Marvel IP, so still. By the way,
Yeah.
Randy brings up an excellent point. To be fair, WP is a mess all across the board. Yes,
Yes,
that's true.
That
That's
is
true.
true.
What I think people are tired of is Suicide Squad as a team and should focus on an actual team that people want. Yeah, that is true. Tavia brings up an excellent point. I think one of the reasons why that game had such bad press in the beginning, before you found out about like the Justice League stuff, is that people want a Justice League game. To be clear, I do too. And when they say Suicide Squad, I'm like, because here's the thing about it. Suicide Squad is not a big enough IP to sustain a game. I'm sorry, it's not. Particularly in the Arkhamverse, when everyone wants to see the Arkham Justice League. If it were a Justice League game, I think you could actually, I think this game could have actually blown up.
Yeah, it could have got away with it. Yeah, definitely. Wait, what? Derek is saying the Hollywood Reporter is reporting Ben Affleck is in talks to return as Batman.
Give me a source.
You're
dude.
trolling, Derek. I don't believe you.
Give me a source, dude. I'm not believing. I see what
He
you're
says
trying
the
to
Hollywood
do.
Reporter.
He's trying to tee me up because I guarantee you, if that were really true, the Snyderverse fandom would be blowing up Twitter right about now. The Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to their Twitter page right now. Oh, isn't that funny? They're not reporting that at all.
But it's but
who
like,
are you, Derek Cuff? Is he a regular? I don't know.
No, he's not a regular.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a regular.
I'm on to you, Derek Cuff.
We're watching you, dude. That was a rumor. They need to stop making a Suicide Squad a thing. They never they're interesting. Yeah, I don't think so. If they had announced a Justice League game with the Arkham Batman, everyone
would have sold.
I think people would have looked past the issues with like the live service and stuff. They would have been like, at least we got a Justice League game. It still would have been perfect.
Here's the thing right now. They need to focus on other IPs. They need to do Supermans. They need to do Green Lanterns. They need to do Justice League. They need to do... obviously, we're getting Wonder Woman, but they need to do all of that. Then, go back to doing Batman. Because I think that's what needs to happen. But, like I said...
Don't give me another Batman game. Please, for the love of God.
it needs to be 5 to 10 years before we get another Batman game.
Yeah, I agree
But-
with you on that. Give it if you're not going to give us a Justice League game, at least give us a game for each of the Justice League members. Jared, do you think the Superman suit, light blue or dark blue? Honestly, I could see them going either way, depending on what looks good. I could see them going either way. I agree. We should have gotten a Justice League game because that would have been 10 times better than Suicide Squad. Yeah. Plus, the problem also with Suicide Squad, not only is it not a Justice League game, but you're killing the Justice League. Obviously, I still have the theory that's close. A Justice League. Yeah, you're not really killing the Justice League, but the game is called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Mhm.
Yes, that's a clickbait title, but that's also going to piss off the people that want a Justice League game.
Yeah. That's why, like, right now, it's dipped down in player base right now. It's less than 1,000 people are playing the game. And that's the thing. If you
Here's
have
the
less
thing.
than 1,000, if you have
Mhm.
less than 1,000 people playing your game, that's a very concerning thing to know.
This late in the game. Now, Taladia,
Yeah.
the way that they could fix this. Now, here would be an hilarious thing. And we're watching you, Derek. Here's the thing. Imagine if to salvage this, they try and say, oh, yeah, well, you're going to get to play as the Justice League. They'll try and like redo that and like DLC. You can play as the Justice League. That would be. I could see WB doing that.
Mhm.
But all in all, Max, you being held hostage. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Suicide Squad, that reminds me, how do you feel about the game not hitting one? Yeah. I think it's not going to be. I don't know. I think honestly, it's just going to last to there, and then I think it's just going to go to like the content they have done already, and then they'll call it. To be honest, Authority is more. That would have been cool. The Authority versus Justice League. Now that's a game.
That would be an interesting game.
And you could technically tie that into to the DCU.
Yes, but like Max, I want to ask you because I know you're an avid gamer yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
know you didn't play Suicide Squad, but seeming as you've seen the numbers and you've seen the player base decreasing and the fact with Warner Brothers across the board declining in numbers, do you think that Warner Brothers needs to start pushing out other IPs?
Yeah. I mean, it's working for them with Dune and all the other stuff. I love DC, but it's honestly making them profitable to focus on other stuff. You know.
Yeah, WB needs a comeback, even with the Max streaming service turning a profit. They're still struggling. Yes, they do. 100%, they definitely do. Now, there are many ways that they could do that.
Yeah. I
Go
didn't see
ahead.
that. I'm sorry. I was seeing your thing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It just depends. I mean, there's the way I could see them making a thing is that if Superman Legacy is good and it does well, it doesn't have to make $1 billion. It just has to turn a profit. If it turns a profit and then steadily rises, I could definitely see it like that's the first step. You also need, unfortunately, Zaslav has got to stop pulling movies before when they're done. I'm sorry. That is not helping the public relations. You saw the public backlash when they pulled Acme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was like, why cancel Acme? It's a cartoon character, and Acme is a kind of a really popular cartoon show.
Not only that, you know who's involved in Acme? The head of your DC studio. Do you really want to that position was really hard to fill? Do you want to risk pissing him off?
Yeah.
It
I agree.
doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's gonna have John Cena in it too, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. I would love a Green Lantern game. Again, Green Lantern game, but with a Mass Effect play style where you get to customize your character and make a choice. That would be dope. Warner Brothers needs to promote DC movies better. Yeah, exactly. DC needs to promote DC better. Let's be clear on that. David says, I bet that if Superman it didn't make money or was just critically loved, it would be a success at WB. I don't know, because Zaslav is a money guy. If Zaslav is still in charge, if the movie doesn't do well financially, because here's the thing, you could have a movie that does well critically, but bombs financially, and the studio is still in debt. It does not make a dent in the massive debt that WB has. This needs to be a monetary win, in addition to it being a critical win. Obviously, it's nice if it's a critical win, but that money thing is key for Warner Brothers right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I would agree.
I'd be shocked if the critics aren't. They're on board with James Gunn.
Yeah, I'd be
show
shocked
a lot
too.
of bias towards him.
Yeah, exactly. And what are the odds of the DCU films becoming tax write-offs when the films are underperforming? If enough start underperforming with Zaslav and WB,
I think Zaslav. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Jared. But
No.
I think Zaslav's pride for something that he started, he would not do that to something he created. He will only do that
That's
to
a good point.
someone else under someone else's watch to do a tax write-off. But I think his pride, he won't do that to something he started.
and something that he has like promoted as like the best thing ever. But here's the thing: it could be like out of his hands. Like the shareholders could tell him, "You got to pull. You got to stop this. That you got to course correct. This is not working." Because here's the thing. Yes, if 1 or 2 movies don't do well, Hamill should play Jor-El in Superman. Interesting. Yeah, DC needs to promote their animated movies as well. Yeah, exactly. But like put it this way, if enough of the animated movie, if enough of the DCU doesn't do well,
No.
it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But I mean, let's go ahead and wrap up the stream today. So, all right. So, Taladia, where can one find you, and what have you got coming out on your channel?
Well, on my channel, guys, I will be doing first a members video, then it will become to public, which is going to be about the latest news about WB Games Montreal. We'll be talking about that in a video, and I will be doing also a Snyder Fans Read Comics next week, and I've got an interview with Josh Herrera next week as well, which
I
will
love
be
Josh.
Josh is a very great dude, and we'll be talking about a lot of different things, and his love for Superman, and so much things. Like I want to do, it's like interview like how I did with Max. So it'd be really I would love for you guys to come and check that out on my channel,
you.
which will be next week. And,
Yeah, thank you, Jared and Taladia, for putting this off. I really
Anytime.
appreciate it. Yeah, so I hope to maybe I'll come around your channel sometime soon.
Heck yeah, dude. I'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
And then for me, I have Super Wonder Legacy, which I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to having a debate with my friend JJheat on it. For my problem with series, which has been consistently getting 1K views, I'm probably going to do the problem with the Tomorrowverse because Tevye requested that. And in terms of under 2K, so I'm figuring that out. In terms of movie night tomorrow, we're talking about Kick-Ass, so be there. Anyway, stay heroic, everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.